Like they want to know that you heard them and that you're going to look after them as their realtor. So knock on their door, check on them via text or phone call, show genuine curiosity, concern, and care.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jenny Woon.
And I'm your co-host, Toni Singh.
And we are coming up to the end of the month. Time has flown by so fast.
Very quickly.
I feel like this year, is going to be a good year to develop good discipline and habits into your follow-up system.
Yeah, why this year specifically?
Because last year, 2020, 2021, everybody had a stellar year. And the reason why I said that is because there was not enough inventory. Everybody was buying, wanting to move into something larger. Interest rates were really healthy and good. And then the last year and a bit, interest rates were hiking. And there was not a lot of people who wanted to get off the fence to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just not a lot.
Or they wanted to, but they couldn't qualify.
Right. So I wanted to put together this particular topic about perfecting your lead follow-up system, because there are so many challenges right now where I feel like a lot of agents are really afraid to pick up the phone and don't even know what to say or how to start a conversation on real estate.
So do you mean, when you say agents, are you speaking specifically to the newer ones in the business or even older, more experienced realtors contacting new people?
I would say even experienced ones, because they're probably tired and sick and tired of hearing the same, number one, being ghosted. And number two, they're probably like, what else can I talk about? Because the market conditions have gone.
It's a different landscape for sure.
It's a different landscape, but also people are very negative about affordability, about, in general, interest rates, and they're getting tired of saying the same old things about real estate.
So what do you think the biggest challenges are where it comes to following up with leads? I guess one, finding them, you got to find them, and then two, following up with the leads.
I would say not having a CRM, customer relationships management system, that's organized and up and running. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is where, this is the gold mine. And if I could do things over again, I advise any agent to have a very clean and integral CRM.
So let's talk about organizing that for a sec. Because lots of people, you know this, have a CRM, they either don't use it. I've been guilty of that in the past before. It's like I had it, not utilizing it properly.
And you have one and you complain about the CRM that there's too many tools that you don't know how to use.
Exactly. So for simple organization and making sure that you're actually following up with these leads that you've put into your CRM, what would you recommend? Do you have or can you share a little bit about your system? Because I don't know if mine's a good system, but I'll let you know the changes we did this year too.
Okay. So I want to say I've probably used about, right now, I'm on maybe like 4 different ones. And it's because each developer has their own
you got to learn it.
So I have to learn those CRM that they're using. But on top of that, in the past, I've used Top Producer, I've used Brivity, I've used Salesforce, I'm currently on Follow Up Boss.
I have that too.
Right.
You like it?
I like Follow Up Boss.
It's good for new incoming leads and like.
I feel like it's the best one. However, it doesn't have, just like Boomtown or Brickswork or even Brivity, because they connect with your front end, like your landing pages and your custom websites. Because Follow Up Boss is only a CRM, it doesn't allow to track like clicks and the types of ads that you have putting out there. And it's only because it doesn't have a website on the front end. You have to connect it to another website. Okay. So, but But if we're just talking about the CRM alone without having to talk about pay-per-clicks and anything like that, it's actually a really good website, CRM.
Okay. And then back to the question, what's your recommendation for keeping it organized?
Okay. I feel like less is more.
Yes.
Okay.
Less is
Less
more. Don't
okay.
add more things.
So having a really clear rating system, okay, and sticking to that rating system.
So when you say rating system, are we talking about motivation and or timeline to purchase?
Yes. Okay. So A is someone who's going to buy within 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
You can even do 6 months. I'm just saying, like, I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
Someone who's a B, rated a B, could be like someone who's going to buy in 12 months, within 12 months. Someone who's a C is, you've talked about real estate, they're interested. If the right deal comes, maybe I'll buy something. Or someone who is always looking for, the right opportunity. Someone who's a D is anyone who is not who you've been in touch with. Maybe you've met at an open house. It's a cold lead or a warm lead, or even like an online lead where they don't even they try to ghost you. They're a D.
Yep.
Someone who's trash is someone like it's a spam or like a wrong email, wrong phone number.
Yeah, not a real person, perhaps.
I also keep realtors in my database. I keep vendors or industry like alliance partners in my database because that email content is going to be very different. It could be like a particular invitation for vendor parties, for events, or maybe there's like an exclusive listing or a land development that they may be interested in. So then I have like a developers pile as well. How have you organized your CRM?
Ooh, okay. So there's two different things in mind for this. So we have a alphabetical rating system as well. We use it. It's the same thing. Basically, it's like A plus, A, B, B plus. Do you know what I mean? Like just to keep it simple. But that system actually, because we don't work with as many developers and builders as you, it's coded a bit differently. So it could mean like an A plus, someone who's transacted with us specifically multiple times, or an A plus can also be someone who maybe we've sold their place, but they've given us like 5 to 6 referrals to family and friends, right? Just to know how to.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's a good cheerleader advocate for your business.
So there's that portion. And then the other part of it as well, we tag them in the system or add a label. So we do the same thing. It's just that whatever your tagging mechanism is, Jenny's right. Just choose one and use it the exact same way with consistency all the time. B2B professionals, industry professionals, builders, developers, because you're right, those emails would be different. But I keep it pretty simple for leads. This might not be correct. It's either buyer lead, seller lead.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
And they get the same email because I look buyer content, seller content. But I agree that the way that you're doing it, especially for your target, that 100% makes sense. And it's probably a bit better. I just like to keep it simple on the buying, selling end.
Yeah. And there's no right or wrong. I think as long as you keep it consistent and you understand the meaning.
Do what works for you.
And you understand, and you also explain if you have more than one member using the CRM, that you all stick to the same definitions of the ratings. Okay. Another thing, the biggest challenge is following up efficiently is we're going to explain this a little bit later, but generally you have a higher chance of connecting with the lead within 5 minutes as opposed to like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay. So following up efficiently. So I would say using the tool as a way to automate a response if you're not able to get to the phone right away within 5 minutes.
Such a great tip.
Another challenge for following up with leads is
communication breakdown. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
So it could be not using the tools, not even contacting the people. But when we say utilizing the tools, one thing that we do is, whoever we've been speaking to, whether it's buyer or seller, and you get the time frame, let's say they want to do something in 3 months. We normally, our rule of thumb is to cut that time down in half. So that means for us, okay, we contact them at 1.5 months. It's in the system as a reminder because you'll forget when you have all these leads, and it'll actually just prompt you. Follow up with this person on this date.
Right. And
early.
Toggle it with your calendar so that there's reminders of birthdays and anniversaries. The other challenge with following up leads is not knowing how to ask the right questions so that you're sparking an interest or an opportunity for like the open dialogue.
Mhm.
So when there's absolutely no contact or you just don't know how to open up that conversation, I feel like that's also another challenge as well.
It is. And we spoke about this before, right? It's just like simply getting curious about people and how they're doing or what's going on with their life. That's the easiest way to um, re energize the relationship.
And most agents are they're right away they're thinking, okay, how do I do a sales pitch? How do I get a
Yeah, don't
listing?
think
How do
about
I
that.
just get curious about who this person
Oh,
is and what they've been
you're
doing in their
thinking of
life?
making a move though? Wow, that's interesting. Why? What's important to you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Not sending them the right content.
That's why you got to label your system. Organization, point number one, is most important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really big on just really finding content and information that will provide value to our clients, right? And so when you're using specific hashtags or labels on each of the lead, or even labeling it correctly,
Mhm.
then you know if they're a first time buyer and they're grouped in the first time buyer, or if they're labeled in Vancouver, you're not going to send them items that are happening in Abbotsford, for example.
Mm.
So the right content is really important in order to really resonate and connect with them.
Mhm. Mhm. And then another important one is the fear of a lot of people don't contact or follow up with their leads because they don't want to seem aggressive or too salesy.
Hmm.
And what happens normally when that happens? You're just waiting for people to call, right? And
Yeah,
not lead following up.
they're waiting for the phone to pick up. But here's the funny thing. The agent most likely to get the business is the one that will continuously be persistent because they're top of mind. And it's happened to me before where a mortgage broker would like just constantly
Me too.
be following up with me. I don't even have any leads for them, but I ended up using this person
Me
myself
too.
to renew my mortgage.
Well, because
So
they're on it.
yeah. And so 80% of your future business is already sitting in your lead pile. It's already sitting in your pipeline. So when you find the perfect lead follow up practice I want you to get off the fence right now. I want you to be motivated to clean up your database.
Oh, that's so painful. But do
Okay.
it. Do it.
Honestly, if
What?
you have 500 people, you don't need 500 people. You need 100 people to give you 20% of your business, and you're going to be set for the rest of the year.
If you organize them and contact them with value added items continuously.
Right. Okay. So on average, this is a great statistics to know. On average, it takes 6 to 12 attempts to reach before converting somebody. And most real estate agents stop
Yeah.
when?
At the first or second attempt. But to be clear too,
Yep.
when we say 6 to 12 attempts, what pool are we talking about? We're talking about mostly online people, right? Or like very cold leads.
It could be, cold leads or like just even somebody who you've met well, it'll be shorter if you somebody who you met and it's a warm referral
Exactly.
lead.
Just wanted to mention that because it's
Yes.
not always going to be that, guys. It could be sooner, but on average, yes.
But this is shorter. Here,
Yeah.
you and I, we didn't start when there was like social media or online leads.
I know.
We had to like door knock and we had to
I still do that.
get leads from like newspaper articles and magazines and postcard mailouts. And that takes 24 like mailouts, like
Yeah.
to get a conversion.
That's why I like to go in person or have direct contact because it takes less than 3.
So in this session, you're going to discover a few things: how to overcome the common ghosting.
Mm-hmm.
And so putting out the right type of content to get people to connect back with you. How to drop a web of connections over your leads so that it's easy to follow up without rejection and feeling like that painful no. And how to automate so that you're staying on top of mind for your clients.
Absolutely.
And then finally, we want you guys to learn
How to implement campaigns and answer the question.
hey,
How should I be in contact and what should I say?
so 5 ways to improve your lead follow-up system. Number 1, persistence pays off.
Say more.
Okay, so when you keep following up, even when a client goes dark, I don't want you to stop soon. Knock on their door, check up on them, ask them, are they okay? Are you okay?
Wow,
Like,
I appreciate you asking that. I am okay. Thank you for showing concern for
okay.
me.
Now, does that seem salesy?
No, because it was genuine and it's just genuine curiosity and persistence.
Right.
Number two,
No,
oh, no, before that.
before that, I want to mention that sometimes they are procrastinating, okay?
Mhm.
And they are maybe finding illegitimate reasons why they can't get their life organized. Maybe they don't even know what their financial situation is. Maybe they don't really know their motivation. But if you are like if you're a true salesperson, you just really know how to really get curious about where do they spend most of their time at home or in the kitchen, or are they needing more space? What is their family dynamics? Are they growing? Are they downsizing? So I really want you to get curious and spark urgency on what their situation is.
It has
Okay.
to be relevant for
So to
sure.
me, the person who gets to them first wins the deal, and the person who's persistent will be top of mind.
Absolutely. Second, really important one is personal touch. So
Mhm.
going the extra mile. But this also relates to what Jenny just mentioned, which is keeping it relevant. Like they want to know that you heard them and that you're going to look after them as their realtor. So knock on their door, check on them via text or phone call, show genuine curiosity, concern, and care.
Perfect. I also want, so that's such a great personal touch, because part of getting into the personal touch is knowing and understanding their motivation. Um, Understanding their buyer's behavior really will get you to understand how responsive they're going to be in like answering your calls,
Hmm.
in trying to get in the paperwork to their mortgage broker, in trying to make decisions and being able to prioritize what is important in the right timing so that you can do your job correctly. So I want you to know that they need leadership. So in order for you, we talked about self leadership. So
Hmm.
you have to be the guiding light and the north compass for them so that they can make the right decisions.
Hmm.
So be this authoritative person in their life that's guiding them through the home buyers process and the decision making. And a lot of them, they make up reasons why they shouldn't buy. Oh, the market's tough, or I don't know where to start, or I don't know where to find the money. Okay, well, be curious about giving them some resources, and knowing that these obstacles or concerns are not as big as they think.
Well, here's an example just speaking to that. So sometimes it'll happen where, if you've got a newer lead and they're not really sure what their timeline is, they're not really sure of their motivation, and maybe they're looking at upsizing
Mhm.
somewhere for their family, but that's tied in with price point and like whether they can qualify for a mortgage. One thing to help them without actually thinking about, oh, closing the deal or anything like that is the value. We've had families consider moving out to Abbotsford. The concerns that happen and the fears around that are, well, I'm currently in Burnaby. I need to move to Abbotsford. What happens if I don't like the area? What happens if my family can't live in the community? A simple getting curious about it, number one, but maybe just saying and taking the leadership role, which is, hey, you know what? That's a valid concern. I have an idea. Are you guys around this weekend? Why don't you and the family organize something fun to go out to the area and explore together to see if you can actually see yourselves there? There's a great coffee shop around the corner, or you know what I mean? Like,
Tulip festival,
yeah,
pumpkin patch.
but that's important because it helps people. It's simple, right? But it's allowing them to explore and see if it's actually right for themselves. They'll come back
Mhm.
if you're following up with persistence.
Absolutely. You're sparking urgency. And so the first person, like I said, the sooner you spark a sense of urgency about a new listing that came up on the market, about specific timelines. So maybe they are getting kicked out of their rental unit. And
Yeah. Ooh.
and again, you're really letting them know there's not as much time as you think.
No, these things do take time.
Right. And so for speed, the need for speed What is that movie? The Need for Speed.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
thinking
the
Fast and the
need for
Furious, which is not.
No, it's not Fast and the Furious. Is it something with Tom Cruise?
I don't know.
By being proactive and responsive and positioning yourself as the go-to agent, you're increasing your chances of winning that business over.
Mhm.
And finally,
You need to go. I'm too tired right now. I'm like,
oh, really? Okay.
no. Are we here?
I want to, so ending off, you are going to, this immediate engagement in order to convert and follow up on your leads is responding promptly to all anything that there are changes. So if there's a new interest rate hike, or maybe there's a rate hold, maybe they immediately want to see a property and explore their options. Maybe they want to, here's a really good fact. If you connect with your lead within the first 5 minutes, you're 100 times greater than trying to connect with somebody 30 minutes later.
I believe it.
Okay, let me repeat that. Let me correct that. When you are connecting with a lead within the first 5 minutes, you're at 100 times greater than waiting 30 minutes to connect with a lead. Your chances of converting is stronger.
More likely. Mm-hmm.
So you're setting a tone that you're attentive, that you're professional, that you're providing excellent service, and that the decisions that your client is making is important to you as it is important to them. Mm-hmm. And so to me, when you are really making the effort to enhance and connect with your leads, understanding their motivations, positioning yourself as responsive and proactive, you are going to do really well in this competitive industry. And so I want you to know that it's all in your own magic to allow these results to show for yourself.
Allow. Anything else that we want to say on the perfection of lead follow-up systems?
I just want to end that it's not going to be an easy year. Okay?
You don't think so?
I don't think it's going to be easier.
I have a different outlook.
I'm positive.
Yeah.
I have a positive outlook. I'm not saying it's going to be easy though. I'm saying
it's going to be so fun.
I feel like that it's going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. I feel like it's going to be similar to last year.
I liked last year.
You like there's a lot of people.
Great.
The people who were top producers produced last year, but there are people who had the same spending habits as 2021, and they didn't make as much last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Right? So I'm very positive, and I've always had great years. Like every year has always been awesome for me.
But that's a mindset thing too.
It's a mindset thing. But all I'm saying is we want you guys to run your business efficiently. I want you guys to connect with your leads. And let's leave one piece of advice for people who are tuning in on how do they start their sentence with leads who they haven't talked to after a year?
They're just a lead, right? Like never done business with them.
No, they've done a business before.
Okay.
They're a past client and they haven't been in contact for a year. They lost contact. So what is one sentence you would offer to the agents listening?
Hey, Jenny, I'm so sorry I've been out of touch. It's been far too long.
Okay, pause. Mm-hmm. I love how you apologized and acknowledged.
Yeah. Because I can't just be like, hey, Jenny, like, let's pick up where we left off. And then I would say to you, and this is genuine, we do this. Yeah. We're following up with them more often than that. I'm curious, how did the year go for you? And what are you excited about this year? Or something along the lines of, how's the family? Are you still enjoying your home? What are you loving at the moment? It just depends. Like most of the time, if you're following up with people and you acknowledge that, you didn't follow up as frequently, but you still care about them.
Yes.
You're going to get a good response.
Yes. I want to say, for me, a great way is setting them a CMA, and they have no idea what their home is worth, but they've made some money. Okay. And I would suggest sending it between now to when BC assessment is sent out, and you're just hey, keeping them informed of the market, whether they're selling, thinking of selling, refinancing, renovating, disputing their BC assessment, or maybe they're thinking of like pulling money out for a future investment, a secondary home or a home for their kid. You're just providing a complimentary, comprehensive assessment of what the new value of their home. And how I would end that email is by saying, congratulations on such a smart investment. You've actually
So
made
good.
X dollar amount or a certain percentage higher, like 20% higher, more than what you purchased for your home. And your satisfaction and peace of mind is my top priority. Are you thinking of making some upgrades, or have you recently done any upgrades that I'm not aware of? I would love to walk through your home again to give you a new evaluation. And if there's anything you want me to follow up on, I would love to share my thoughts on the market with
I
you.
love that.
Yeah.
So good.
So we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah, that was mind blown. Guys, good luck with your lead follow-up. This is going to be a great year. All you need to do is just jump in, do the work, believe in yourself, and put yourself out there. That's it.
Habits and discipline, guys. Okay. See you next week.